What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of the QPR Career Mode. Today we're going to be playing in the playoffs, and first obviously we had to play the semi-finals against Cardiff, who finished one place above us, which meant that we had to play the first leg at home, which I personally don't mind. And we had the first chance of the game with De La Vega running down the left wing. He squares it to Ezzy, who shoots, hits the post, but the rebound very kindly falls to De La Vega, who had an empty net to just tap the ball into, made it 1-0 very early on, and that was a crucial goal because showed Cardiff that we were here and we meant business. You know, we weren't gonna let them beat us because they finished higher than us. We really wanted to get to the Premier League. But not long after, Lyson, our captain, just gave them the ball, gifted it to them, and Roberts made a huge save there to keep us 1-0 up. Cardiff had a corner, but it didn't come to anything, and it was a huge save there from Roberts. You know, I think he really did show why I've chosen him as our number one, because he's higher rate than Lumley now, and he is putting in good performances and showing that he deserves to be in the team. And we counted from their corner. Cameron played it into Jose Samuel, and so often he would cut it back in that situation to Ezzy in the box or Wells. This time he was ahead of them and he hammered it into the corner to make it 2-0, and to give us a little bit of a cushion in this game, because Cardiff obviously are a very dangerous team, which is why they finished as high as they did. But they had a chance here in the 40th minute, which they took. It was quite an end-to-end game, to be fair to them, especially in this first half where we were both attacking. We were winning right until the 45th minute. Manning didn't clear it. They capitalised on it because they put the ball in, and the header hit the underside of the crossbar and went in. So our 2-goal lead that we had was just thrown away because we couldn't defend properly. But Ezzy and Wells here, brilliant play. Wells played it into Ezzy, who ran a little bit and just cut it back amazingly until the pass for Wells, who just had to tap it in, and he did really well with that finish. Does what he does best, which is score goals. And I don't think we'll get him back next season because of his age and because of the fact we have Morris, who's younger and the same rating. And also I am looking at Jonathan Lecco, who was requested by Samuel in the comments in the last episode. I have scouted him and you will see him later on in the episode. De La Vega, however, did pick up a knock, and obviously as a precautionary measure I decided to take him off for Morris. Also he was kind of tired, and I didn't want to aggravate his injury when we didn't need to, considering we were winning as well. But Cardiff don't know what they were doing. They gave the ball to Wells, who played it to Ezzy, played it back to Wells, finesse shot off the crossbar or post, and his header from the rebound wasn't great. I don't know why he went for a header. I thought maybe a volley would have been better in that situation, but he decided not to, and the chance was wasted. After that I also decided to take off Ezzy because he was tiring and bring on Chair, but move Morris into Cam because Chair does have a bit more pace and Morris is a bit better technically, I think. So I decided to do that, and it worked out very well because Wells played it to Morris, who stepped away from his defender, took the ball away, used his pace and just smashed it into the top corner to make it 4-2, and the young academy kid showing why he could be our starting striker for next season. It's a great goal there, and he made it 4-2, gave us breathing space, and it was a fantastic goal, to be fair. And that was the last thing that happened in the game. We won 4-2, so we took a 2-goal lead over to Wales for the away leg against Cardiff. Obviously they're a good team and we can't underestimate them. Despite the fact we are 2 goals up, they do have 2 away goals, which could play a factor in this. I'm not sure if it actually does in the championship playoffs, but in most other competitions it does. And as you see there, De La Vega's season was done. He was not going to be in the second leg, and he was not going to play in the final if we made it there. And he'd also be out for a bit of pre-season next season, which isn't too much of a worry because obviously pre-season you don't really need your best players there. But yeah, it's unfortunate because he has been such an important player this season. He's been one of our best, and we were really going to miss his explosive pace on that left wing. Um, but obviously we did have a chair who could play there, and Morris as well, who's pushing in for the first team. So it wasn't the end of the world, and I decided to promote two of our young fullbacks from the youth academy because we don't have a lot of cover there, and they have good potential. So I thought, why not? And you will see Berry on the bench for this game because obviously our right back Kane's been injured for a while, so Wallace, our backup left back, has been having to play there. We do have Angel Rangel who is retiring, but he's really slow and I don't really want to play him or have him on the bench. So I decided to put Berry on the bench. First chance of this game though fell to us. Chair got very fortunate that he came away with the ball there, but he couldn't finish it, and you've got to feel that if that was De La Vega in that position, it would go in. However, he wasn't there, and it hit the post. And we had another chance not long after with Naki Wells, who was played in by Eberechi, and he took it on his left foot, which obviously you'd expect in that position, but it was straight at the keeper really. It wasn't too hard for him to make the save. However, they there had a barrage of shots, which were two of them were blocked, and a great save from Roberts to keep it at 0-0. But he had an absolute nightmare from the corner. He died. It looked you'll see it from the replay. He fell the wrong way. Like, instead of diving towards the ball, it kind of looked like he went the other way. I don't know how to explain it. You'll see it in a second. But he undid all of his hard work in making the save by just doing that. Like, I don't know what he did, and Cardiff capitalised on it, made it 1-0 on the night, and 4-3 still to us on aggregate. We got a free kick, and the Barbe actually had the best free kick accuracy in the team, so I let him take it, aiming for that top corner. Obviously, you know, wanted to score this, but he was so close. Like, his stats aren't even great, but that was a very good free kick. And we went down at half-time 1-0. Cardiff were by far the better team and could have easily been 2 or 3 goals up. But in the second half, we had the first chance. Ezzy squared it to Chair, who missed, and that is where you miss the De La Vega to Ezzy connection. And yeah, that was a big chance which could have given us a bit more comfortability in the position that we were in. I decided to make a tactical change and to change the formation to 4-3-1-2, and straight away it made me look like a tactical genius. Eberechi, as he played it to Naki Wells, and we've seen that so often this season, and this time he does score. He blasts it into the corner, and just a minute after making that change, we levelled it. So I decided to put Morris up front with Wells and take off Ozay Sami, who was very tired. Obviously I wanted to save him for the final because he's very fast, and I didn't want to risk him getting an injury as well because De La Vega's already injured. But from kickoff we won the ball back. Wells here played it to Morris, who got past his player with a good show of pace, and he played it across to Ezzy, and he made it 2-1, and within minutes we went from 1-0 down to 2-1 up, and I really looked like a tactical genius at this point. And the 2 goals that we just scored also cancelled out the 2 that Cardiff got at our stadium, which was obviously always going to be a positive because it meant that if they did somehow manage to score more, we wouldn't have got knocked out, or scored 2 more before we scored that one. We wouldn't have got knocked out on away goals, which would have been a terrible way to go out. But they had a chance there. The shot wasn't amazing, but it was saved by Roberts. They got a corner from it, which Roberts managed to actually punch out this time, but they tried to get it back in, and Ezzy took the ball around Peltier. He's carried on going. Although he had no stamina left, he had more than Peltier somehow, or he had more pace than him, despite the fact that he just come off the bench, and he ran the length of the pitch and put the ball into the back of the net, made it 3-1 to QPR on the night. And you know, there was absolutely no way we were going to throw this away now. I decided to bring on Hall for Leistner because he was very tired, um, and obviously I don't want more injuries because we, at this point, obviously, we were probably in the final. Although Cardiff did get a goal there, the final was going to be played in just a few days, so um, yeah, there wasn't a lot of time for rest. But although the last action of the game was a goal for Cardiff, we came away from the game very happy. A huge win there, and 7-4 on aggregate, 3-2 on the day. Although Cardiff were definitely the better team on the night, they couldn't go through due to the fact that obviously we were more clinical than them, and although we may not have deserved it, we got the job done, and we were into the final where, as you can see, we're going to be playing Fulham, who managed to beat Stoke City on penalties to get through. And this guy keeps complaining about his wages though, but luckily his contract's expiring, so it's not a huge deal because I really don't care. Like, he doesn't have potential, he's not in my plans. And anyway, we got into the final against Fulham. Obviously we knew they were going to be playing their 4-3-3. They didn't, however, have Mitrovic up front for this game. They actually had Bobby Reed, the former Cardiff striker, and they had the first chance. It was a great block there, saved us a potential goal because I don't think Roberts would have been able to stop it. But they kept coming, and from the corner they were very unlucky not to have that header go in. It was flashed just wide of the post. Also, I should mention, for the whole playoffs, I decided to put the difficulty onto Legendary because World Class was just too easy, and our team was flying through them. And although our team isn't bad, it's definitely not up to the standard of a lot of other teams in the league. So I felt it was a bit unrealistic that we won as convinced as we did in some matches, so I upped it, and I could definitely feel it in this game. Didn't really feel it against Cardiff, but Fulham had another chance there. Good ball in. Cavallero, however, couldn't get the shot on target. He hit it just wide of the post. And just before half time, we had a chance. Shot was off the post from Jose Samuel, but it rebounded straight to Ilias Cher, who was brought in again for obviously the injured De La Vega. And he shows that he can do it, and that maybe I should have given him some more game time earlier in the season. It was a very lucky goal, make no mistake about it. Just before half time we took the lead, and you can see that there were very few highlights in this half, and that's because it just wasn't a good half at all. Although Fulham had a lot of possession and it was hard for me to take it off them, and they had a lot of early pressure, they just kept passing it, and they didn't really do anything with all that possession they had. As you can see here from the match stats, same amount of shots on target. They had one more shot than us, had a lot more possession than us, but they couldn't do anything with it. And there's no point having the possession if you can't do anything with it. But from the second half, they wanted to carry on playing their possession game. They're just passing it around, trying to make my players run around. But the great pass there into Knockout, and I let him go. I don't know why I didn't push and try and tackle him, but the shot wasn't great, and it's a good save from Roberts to keep it out. But from the corner, again, he didn't really clear it properly, and they almost got an equaliser straight away. They were putting on the signs that they were going to play, and they weren't willing to just give up despite being a goal down. I decided to make the same changes again because they worked so well in the last match, but in the last minute Fulham had a golden chance. The first shot was cleared off the line, but the second one fell right to that man Bobby Reed, who levelled it in the 95th minute of added time, and there was only meant to be 2 minutes. The first volley was a great shot, but it's a good block on the line. However, Bobby Reed lost his marker, and the last action of the first 90 minutes of the playoffs final was a goal for Fulham, and they definitely deserved it. They were a lot better than us, but in that second half especially, they had the only chance of extra time, and it went over. They went to penalties, and Eze missed the first one, and Kamara for them, AK-47, put put them 1-0 up because he scored his. Wells took our second one and he leveled it. It was 1-1. They had their second one, Anthony knockout, once again sending Roberts the wrong way. I don't know why I was finding it a lot harder to read the computer with their penalties. Like before, when I first got the game, it was so easy to read them, but now they take penalties a lot quicker, so it's harder. We managed to equalise there with Cameron, but they scored again and it was 3-2, once again sending Roberts the wrong way. Then Barbe had another chance and he placed it into the bottom corner. Cabano for Fulham to take their fourth. He chipped us. He chipped it and he scored. And Morris, our young wonder kid, who I have such high hopes for, had the fifth penalty, but he missed, and we weren't going to be going up to the Premier League. Our hopes were crushed, and Fulham are the team to be joining West Brom and Leeds United in the Premier League next season. And you have got to say, Fulham were probably the favourites coming into the playoffs. They were the only team that actually got even close to the top two, and we're going to have to settle for another season in the Championship. However, it may not be a disaster. Like I said last time, it may actually be a blessing in disguise, because we have another year here to build a solid team, to build the foundations to go and survive in the Premier League. Because I think if we did go up this year, we would struggle big time, because I don't think we're going to get a lot of money, and also we don't have it like a good young core. We have a few good young players, but not a lot. And I think in the summer I'm going to try and sign a few more young players to try and build a good team for now, but also for the future. So when we do go up, because I am predicting us to go up next season, we'll be able to stay there and solidify ourselves as a Premier League club. And you can see me doing training now at the end of the season. I did decide to stop training Roberts because I don't want to stunt his growth on reactions, because obviously that's important for a goalkeeper, and if I train him too much, the game wouldn't allow him to grow more naturally, and obviously I wanted him to. So here is Jonathan Lecco. Samuel, thank you for your comment, by the way. He does look very quick, but his finishing isn't great. However, I will try and sign him because he's a young striker, and although we do have Morris, I think having someone there as well as our second striker, even, or a second choice striker, is always going to be, it's not going to be a negative thing. So if we are given enough money, I'll try and sign him. However, I do also need to try and get another midfielder. I think probably a right back and maybe a younger centre back. I think those are the problem areas, or not the problem area, but the areas that I need to address in the summer. Eberechi Eze as well, he was so good this season, as well as Naki Wells. Them two were amazing, and so was Pedro de la Vega. I think Eze and de la Vega will have huge seasons next year, and hopefully it'll be a season in which we go up. But that'll be it for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.